All right, let's dive in. Today we're tackling something that hits home for everyone, the immune system,
Always a hot topic, right?
especially after that bug I couldn't shake a few months back. Seriously, I felt like I was down for the count.
Oh no, so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was rough. So this podcast script, Boosting Immunity with Everyday Habits, really caught my eye. It's all about practical tips for, well, not ending up like me.
Simple but powerful, right?
Exactly. And they jump right into something we can all relate to. Sleep. I'll admit, I used to be the queen of all-nighters. Deadlines.
I've been there.
But this script is making me rethink my whole approach. It's not just about feeling rested, it's actually crucial for a strong immune response.
It's more than just recharging, that's for sure. While we sleep, our bodies get busy producing these proteins called cytokines. They're like the messengers of the immune system.
Wait, so actual production is happening while we're out cold?
Absolutely. And different cytokines have different roles. Some kickstart inflammation to fight off infections. Others regulate the whole immune response. Some even help with tissue repair. It's an intricate system.
Okay, that's way more complex than I realized. So not just recharging, but
Yeah.
like an entire immune system workshop happening overnight.
Exactly. And skimping on sleep, well, it throws a wrench in the whole process. Certain cytokine production gets disrupted. Things like interleukin 12, which helps fight off those pesky viruses.
So basically pulling all-nighters is like handing those viruses a VIP pass to my system. Not cool. All right, what else does this script recommend?
Something surprisingly simple but super important, hydration.
Wait, seriously, just drinking water can impact my immunity that much?
You'd be surprised. Staying hydrated keeps the lymph flowing. Lymph is this fluid that acts like a transport system for your immune cells. Imagine it like a highway for all those important cells.
Okay, I'm picturing it now. So dehydration equals a traffic jam for my immune system.
Pretty much. And those cells need to move freely to do their job, right?
Right. So is the old 8 glasses a day rule still the gold standard?
It's a good starting point, but everyone's needs are different. Activity level, climate, overall health. The key is listening to your body. And don't wait until you're parched. Keep sipping throughout the day.
Got it. Consistent hydration, like a well-maintained highway system. But what are these immune cells using for fuel?
Well, that brings us to the next biggie, nutrition.
I knew you were going there. But beyond the usual eat your veggies advice, are there specific nutrients that really pack a punch for immunity?
This script highlights vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. They're the all-stars when it comes to immune function.
Okay, so vitamin C. I always thought that was just for fighting off colds.
It definitely helps with that. Vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant. It protects your cells from damage caused by free radicals. Think of it like a shield against those nasty little molecules. And while it might not prevent a cold outright, studies show it can help you bounce back faster.
Shorter sniffles, I'll take it. What about vitamin D? I know sunshine is a good source, but can we get it from food too?
Sunshine's definitely the best, but you can also find vitamin D in fatty fish, eggs, and fortified dairy products. It plays a big role in regulating those immune responses. Research suggests having enough vitamin D can even protect against respiratory infections.
Wow, so sunshine and salmon for the win. I've also heard zinc is important, especially for fighting off colds.
Absolutely. Zinc's a busy bee involved in so many aspects of immune function. It helps develop and activate those crucial immune cells. Good sources are oysters, red meat, beans, nuts, and whole grains. Lots of options there.
So it sounds like a balanced and varied diet is key. I love how the script puts it. The more colorful your plate, the better. Easy to remember, right?
The great visual.
Mm.
Now, speaking of getting things moving, have you considered how physical activity fits into all of this?
Honestly, exercise isn't usually my first thought when it comes to immunity. But tell me, how does breaking a sweat actually help strengthen our defenses?
Well, for one, it gets your blood pumping. When you exercise, your heart rate increases, which boosts blood flow and helps deliver those all-important immune cells throughout your body. Every nook and cranny.
So it's like giving my immune system a turbo boost.
Precisely. Plus, exercise helps flush out waste products, which further supports your overall health and immune function. It's a win-win.
Makes sense. I do feel a difference when I'm working out regularly. Like my whole system is just humming along nicely.
I hear you. And it's incredible how interconnected our physical and mental well-being truly are, which leads us to the impact of stress on our immune system.
Okay, this is a big one for me. I swear whenever I'm stressed out, I'm a magnet for every bug going around.
I think we've all been there, and there's a scientific reason for that. When we're chronically stressed, our bodies release this hormone called cortisol. Now, cortisol is important for survival in short bursts, but long-term exposure, it actually suppresses immune responses, making us more susceptible to infections.
So basically, my stress is giving those germs a welcome mat.
In a way, yes. It's like your immune system is being pulled in too many directions and can't focus on its main job, protecting you.
So how do we combat that? What are some effective ways to manage stress and give our immune systems a break?
There's no one-size-fits-all answer. What works for one person might not work for another. Some people find relief through mindfulness, like meditation or deep breathing. Others connect with nature, spend time with loved ones, or get creative.
It's about finding what helps you unwind and de-stress.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of things we might need to unwind from, let's talk about sugar and alcohol.
Ah, the good stuff. But in excess, not so good for immunity, right?
Well, occasional treats are fine, but going overboard with sugar and alcohol can definitely weaken your defenses.
So moderation is key, as with most things in life.
Absolutely. Think of it this way. Too much sugar can spike your blood sugar levels, and that can actually impair the function of certain immune cells, like neutrophils. They're essential for fighting off bacterial infections. And as for alcohol, well, chronic heavy drinking disrupts the balance of your gut bacteria.
And we all know by now that the gut plays a huge role in immunity.
Precisely. So a little indulgence is fine, but don't let it sabotage your immune system.
So we've covered a lot already. Sleep, hydration, nutrition, exercise, stress management, and even the impact of sugar and alcohol. Anything else we should keep in mind?
Absolutely. We've focused on the physical aspects so far, but there's another powerful element at play: our minds and emotions.
Wait, are you saying how we feel can actually impact our immune system?
There's growing research suggesting exactly that. Positive emotions like joy, gratitude, love, they can actually enhance immune function.
So laughing with friends, spending time with loved ones, that actually boosts our immunity.
It's not quite a direct cause and effect, but there's evidence to suggest that positive emotions trigger the release of beneficial chemicals like endorphins, and those can have a positive impact on our immune cells.
That's pretty incredible. So it's not just what we put into our bodies, but also how we nurture our minds and spirits.
Exactly. And on the flip side, chronic stress, anxiety, anger, those can suppress our immune system.
It's like our bodies are reflecting our inner state. When we're feeling good, our defenses are stronger. But when we're struggling emotionally, our immune system takes a hit.
That's a great way to put it. So how do we cultivate those positive emotions and support our immune system from within?
Give me all the tips.
Well, there are so many wonderful practices out there. Meditation, mindfulness, spending time in nature, connecting with loved ones, practicing gratitude, getting creative, pursuing your passions.
Basically, anything that brings you joy.
Exactly. By prioritizing our mental and emotional health, we're giving our immune system a powerful boost.
This has been so eye-opening. We've really explored so many different aspects of immunity, from the practical to the profound.
And we've seen that even small changes in our daily habits can have a big impact on our overall health and well-being.
It's really empowering to realize how much control we have.
Absolutely. So, are you ready to dive into the next part of our exploration? We'll be uncovering the fascinating world of the gut microbiome.
Lead the way. I'm ready to learn more.
Welcome back to our deep dive into boosting immunity.
I'm ready for more. We've covered so much already.
And there's even more to explore.
Like what? I know we were going to talk about the gut microbiome. What is that anyway?
That's next on our list.
That's what I'm most curious about.
We'll buckle up because this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, the gut microbiome, you've probably heard the term thrown around a lot lately, right?
It seems like it's connected to just about everything these days. Digestion, mental health, even immunity. I'm not really sure what it all means.
It's still a relatively new area of research, but what scientists are discovering is pretty mind-blowing. Essentially, the gut microbiome is this incredibly vast and complex ecosystem of microorganisms living in our digestive tract. We're talking bacteria, fungi, viruses, the whole shebang.
Whoa, hold on. There's a whole microscopic world living inside of us.
Pretty much. And it turns out that this bustling community of microbes plays a huge role in our overall health, including, you guessed it, our immune system.
I knew there had to be a connection.
Yeah.
But how does it actually work? How does this little world inside of us impact our ability to fight off illness?
Well, think of it this way. A healthy and diverse gut microbiome is like boot camp for our immune system.
Boot camp.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about training. You see, a whopping 70% of our immune cells actually reside in the gut.
Seriously. 70%, I had no idea.
It's true, and those immune cells are constantly interacting with the trillions of bacteria in our gut. The good bacteria, that is.
Okay, so the good guys are in there sparring with our immune cells. What's the point of that?
It's all about teaching our immune system how to distinguish friend from foe. The good bacteria are like, hey, immune cells, this is what a harmless substance looks like, don't freak out.
So they're teaching our immune system not to overreact. Why is that so important?
Because an overreactive immune system can lead to all sorts of problems. Allergies, for example, happen when the immune system goes into overdrive in response to something harmless, like pollen or certain foods.
Right, or autoimmune disorders where the immune system attacks the body's own tissues.
Exactly. So having a well-trained immune system, thanks to a diverse gut microbiome, is key to keeping those kinds of responses in check.
So how do we make sure our gut microbiome is up to the task? Is this where probiotics come in?
You got it. Probiotics are live beneficial bacteria that can help replenish and diversify the gut microbiome. You can find them in fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi.
Oh, so that's why fermented foods are so good for us.
Exactly. They're packed with those good bacteria that our gut loves.
And if you're not a fan of fermented foods, there are always probiotic supplements, right?
Right. But remember, diet plays a huge role in shaping the gut microbiome.
So what should we be eating to keep those little guys happy and thriving? Just fruits and veggies like always.
Fruits and veggies are definitely important, but there's another key player, fiber. Specifically, a type of fiber called prebiotics.
Prebiotics. So how are those different from probiotics?
Think of prebiotics as the fuel for the good bacteria. There are types of fiber that our gut bacteria can't digest, but they can ferment them, which provides them with energy to flourish.
So probiotics are the actual bacteria and prebiotics are what they feed on. Got it. And where do we find these prebiotics?
They're abundant in lots of plant-based foods. Think onions, garlic, bananas, asparagus, oats. The list goes on.
So load up on those prebiotic-rich foods, and that keeps the good bacteria happy and healthy, which then, in turn, keeps our immune system strong.
Precisely. It's all connected.
It's amazing how everything works together.
And there's one more thing I want to mention. Antibiotics, while essential for fighting bacterial infections, can actually wipe out both good and bad bacteria in the gut, kind of like a scorched earth policy.
That's right, I've heard about that. So it's like collateral damage in the fight against infection.
Right. Which is why it's so important to use antibiotics only when truly necessary and as prescribed by a doctor. And to help replenish the gut microbiome after a course of antibiotics, probiotics can be super helpful.
Like sending in reinforcements to rebuild the gut army, this whole gut microbiome thing is fascinating. It's like a whole other world operating within us.
And we're only beginning to understand its full impact on our health, but one thing's for sure, a healthy gut microbiome is crucial for a strong immune system.
All right, so we've covered sleep, hydration, nutrition, exercise, stress management, and now this amazing gut microbiome. Anything else we can do to give our immune system a boost?
We've talked a lot about the physical aspects of immunity, but there's another powerful factor at play, our minds and emotions.
Wait, really? How we feel can influence how well our immune system works.
That's what the research is suggesting. And it makes sense when you think about it. We all know that stress can make us more susceptible to getting sick.
Oh, absolutely. When I'm stressed out, it feels like I'm catching every bug that comes my way.
And there's a scientific explanation for that. When we're chronically stressed, our bodies release a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is actually important for survival. It helps us respond to threats, but when it's constantly elevated, it can suppress our immune system.
So it's like our body is in fight or flight mode all the time, and it doesn't have the energy to fight off infections as effectively.
That's a great way to put it. And on the other hand, positive emotions like joy, gratitude, and love seem to have the opposite effect. They can actually enhance immune function.
So laughing, having fun, spending time with people we care about, all that good stuff is good for our immune system too.
There's evidence to suggest that positive emotions trigger the release of beneficial chemicals in the body, and those chemicals can have a positive impact on our immune cells.
So it's not just about what we do for our physical health, but also about how we nurture our mental and emotional well-being.
Exactly. Taking care of our mental and emotional health is like giving our immune system an extra layer of protection.
Okay, so we need to find ways to manage stress and cultivate those positive emotions. What are some good strategies for that?
There are so many things you can try. Meditation, mindfulness, spending time in nature, connecting with loved ones, practicing gratitude, engaging in creative activities, pursuing your passions. The key is to find what brings you joy and make it a regular part of your life.
So it's really about finding what works for you and making those activities a priority.
Exactly. And by prioritizing our mental and emotional well-being, we're also supporting our immune system in a powerful way.
This is all so fascinating. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
And we've seen that even small changes in our daily habits can have a big impact on our overall health and well-being.
It's really empowering to realize how much control we have.
Absolutely. Now, are you ready for the final part of our exploration, where we'll uncover the role of vaccinations and discuss the concept of herd immunity?
I'm ready for more. Okay, so we've talked about all these everyday habits, but what about vaccinations? Where do they fit into all of this?
Vaccinations are a whole other level of immune boosting, really. They've been absolute game changers in public health.
I know they work, but I'm a little fuzzy on the how. Like, you get a shot and then you're protected. How does that actually happen?
It's pretty ingenious, really. Vaccines introduce a weakened or inactive version of a virus or bacteria into your system.
Though it's not the real deal, but...
It's like a sneak peek for your immune system. It triggers your body to start producing antibodies specific to that pathogen.
Without actually getting sick. Right.
Exactly. Your immune system gets a chance to practice, basically. And the coolest part, it remembers.
So the next time that actual virus comes knocking...
Your immune system is ready.
Yeah.
It recognizes the threat and neutralizes it before it can cause any real trouble.
That's amazing. No wonder vaccinations have been so successful in fighting diseases.
Absolutely. Smallpox, polio, measles, the list goes on. Vaccines have saved countless lives.
But I know there's still some hesitation and misinformation around vaccines. It can be a sensitive topic.
It's true, and I think it's important to approach those conversations with empathy. People often have concerns, and those concerns are valid, but it's crucial to rely on credible sources of information, like your doctor or reputable scientific organizations.
Speaking of reputable sources, I've heard about the concept of herd immunity. Can you break that down for me?
Herd immunity is a fascinating concept. It happens when enough people in a population are immune to a disease, making it hard for that disease to spread.
So it's like a protective barrier for everyone, even those who aren't immune.
Exactly. This is especially important for people who can't be vaccinated for medical reasons, like infants, pregnant women, or those with compromised immune systems.
It's like we're all in this together, protecting each other. It's amazing how our individual choices can have such a ripple effect on the community.
It truly highlights the power of collective action. We've covered so much in this deep dive. Sleep, hydration, nutrition, exercise, stress management, the gut microbiome, vaccinations, and even herd immunity. It's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's been so fascinating and honestly empowering.
That's exactly what we were hoping for. We want you to feel empowered to take charge of your health.
It's incredible how all these pieces fit together. It's not just about one magic bullet, but about taking a holistic approach to supporting our immune system, like weaving together all these healthy habits into a strong and vibrant tapestry.
I love that analogy. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. Keep learning, keep adapting, and keep discovering what works best for you.
This has been such an insightful conversation. Thank you for sharing your expertise.
It's been a pleasure. I hope our listeners feel inspired to make some positive changes. Every little step counts.
Absolutely. Remember, folks, you have more control over your health than you might think. Start with one small change and go from there. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible world of the immune system. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay well.